Alright, welcome back. This is X-Wing RLJ with the Subnautica walkthrough on PS5. Just want to bring your attention to this here. This is a time capsule left by other players as they finish the game. These time capsules will contain a picture, a message, and maybe items that you can use left by other players. See a flashing light, so you want to check your radio message.
3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
So the message will, gives you a waypoint. You can see it here in your PDA. You can turn it on and off. You can change its color. It never gets deleted. It also puts the waypoint out here, obviously. Otherwise, it's not much use. Where you can see where it's at. And we're going to go ahead and go to that. When this comes up for you, you can just drop whatever you're doing and just head straight for it. There's a piece of equipment here that you really want to get. It doesn't seem like much, but it's going to make your gameplay so much easier. There's nothing dangerous on the way there. Maybe an occasional stalker, but as long as you don't stop moving near the stalker, he doesn't even bother you. So you'll find the stalkers typically hang out in and around the edges of the those creepvine, seaweed stuff. That's where the stalkers generally tend to. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they're inside the seaweed. As you see, this life pod looks pretty much exactly like yours, except the flotation device did not deploy. And here you'll find a PDA you can pick up.
Integrating new PDA
and
data.
there is a data box. You'll come across many of these. You want to make sure you pick them up. Just gave you the blueprint for a compass. Those things always give you a blueprint, unless of course you already have the blueprint, and then it just does like when you scan something you already have, it just gives you titanium. So the compass is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, once you get down to the deeper waters and the caves and stuff, which you will spend a good chunk of time in, it is essential to have that, because otherwise you're not going to have any reference points for what direction you're going. So you can get out of your sub, and it's easy to get back to your sub because your sub automatically has a waypoint. But as you're driving your sub, if you don't know which direction you're going, it's going to make it really hard to get back out. So compass is really helpful for that. Second reason is, as I give you directions on how to get to certain locations, having the compass is going to make it much easier to actually find it, because you're going to know which direction you're going. So with this we need a wiring kit and a copper wire. I've already got a wiring kit, so we'll pick up a couple of coppers out of the storage here so I can build the copper wire that I need. There's copper wire. I come down and build the compass. And like your other equipment, your compass automatically equips itself. So you can see it over here in your inventory on the right hand side. And of course you can see to the top of your screen there, right below your depth meter, at your compass directional points. And that'll make things much better, much easier later. Now the waypoints never get deleted, like I said, so you can turn them off and on. So you can use them as reference points. A couple of them are actually kind of nice to act as really good waypoints for entrances to cave systems. And every life pod you get a coordinate to from your computer system will have that. waypoint for you. That there is a static cloud. It undulates a little bit, but it never moves. There is another one over there. Those static clouds hide islands, which we will need to go to shortly. But I prefer to do that after we get the Seamoth, just because the Seamoth is so much faster and the distance is quite a ways. You're looking at 2,000 meters. The Sea Glide will take you there, but it's so much slower. And it's only essential. I mean, you only need to, the only reason to take the Sea Glide there is if you want to build your base before you build the Seamoth. I just don't see much of a point to that, but it's up to you. You can do that. If you want to do that, just skip to the next video, or maybe the 2 videos from now, part 4. I'm not sure exactly which one of those I'm going to get over to the island for. Like I said, the spawn points can be anywhere in this biome, so they don't work for giving us starting directions. You need to find a static point. So we're going to go with this coral sticking out of the water here. You can see one farther away over there, and then this one here is closer. So we're going to go with that one. It's further east. And we'll swim over there, and I'll show you what it looks like underwater so that you can have a reference for which one you're looking at and know that you're at the right one. And what I'll try and do is I'll try to give all my future directions for locations based off of this starting point, at least until we go below. So you can just swim right up here and it'll let you climb up on it and stand on it. So what you want to do is point east and then do 2 little ticks to the left of east. We're gonna go about 280 meters until we get a beacon that you can place here at the starting point. You won't be able to measure how far you've gone, so we're just gonna have to look for landmark type of things. So just head in that direction and just go for a little ways, and then you can stop and look around and see if you can see the landmarks. Now, it's nighttime, so it's going to be a little more difficult to see, but despite that, we'll still be able to see what we're looking for, which is wreckage. We're looking for wreckage. We're going to look for things. Now you can see those big creatures out there. They will come up closer. You don't have to worry about them. They do not attack you. So you can see a big wreckage right there. We're going to top off our air and then head on down. Now if you have a rebreather already, that's great. I don't have one yet because I still need another piece of silver. But you get down here and just basically you're going to look for anything that you can scan. Nuclear waste disposal, which you'll need if you build a nuclear reactor on one or more of your bases. These cargo boxes will hold equipment as well. Not always, but if they're open on the back side of it, like that first one was, usually Seamoth fragment. That's always that's a plus. You need to scan 3 of those in order to build a Seamoth. Now, just so you're aware, if you don't find the Seamoth fragment at that exact spot, that's okay. They are a little bit randomized, but they will be in the general vicinity. There's a second Seamoth fragment. They don't always show up at the exact same spots, but they always show up in this area.
Emergency. A quantum detonation
Head
has
back up.
occurred in the Aurora's
Looks like we're about to get an
drive core.
explosion.
The reactor will reach a supercritical state.
This is one of the 2 reasons why I had mentioned in the first video for the walkthrough that you don't want to go to the ship
3, 2.
before this explosion, and that is you don't want to be caught in the explosion. There's a couple of explosions here. The biggest one was up towards the front, which I find to be kind of weird since it's the drive core supposedly that exploded, and you would think the drive core would be back by the engines. But second reason you don't want to go to that ship before that explosion is, as you see right there, you got blueprints for a radiation suit. You don't get those blueprints until that explosion, and you absolutely must have that radiation suit on if you want to survive the trip to the Aurora. So we're going to continue around. We're going to make sure we find everything we can here. Laser cutter fragment. You're going to need that when you go to the ship as well. So don't try going to the ship before you have the laser fragment. You're also going to need the propulsion gun, which we will find later on as well. No point in going there before you get the propulsion gun.
Passing 100 meters.
Or the laser cutter
Oxygen
fragment.
efficiency
You
decreased.
absolutely need both of those. You can get in there without the Seamoth, but I prefer to go with Seamoth just because of some of the critters that are in the area. Up off the air. Head back down to finish off the last of this wreckage. Make sure we got everything we can here. Little glowy bits, kind of cool looking, not very realistic. Sitting in the water this long, that you'd think they'd cool down by now. I mean, it's not like we're in volcanic waters here. I think I already checked these, but double check. Yeah, they don't have anything in them. This one might, though. Yep, it's got another piece of the Sea Glide, which I already have. So, like I said before, you scan something that you already have the blueprint for, it just gives you some titanium, which is fine, because you're going to need a lot of that. Sandstone, give me a piece of lead. Still need a piece of silver. Now, if you notice a little bit of a difference between the location of the starting pod in this video and in the first video, I kind of screwed up in my video making process and had to kind of start over, so I just started a new game and played until I got to roughly the same spot as I was before, with this being my first series of videos. Still new to this whole process. I'm still going to make mistakes, but it'll work out. So we got a bioreactor fragment here, power source for your base, or one of a few that you can use. Trash can, which is nice. If you make something like a second knife or a second Sea Glide and you have no use for it, which you won't have a use for, you can't deconstruct equipment. Nice, the third Seamoth fragment. You can't deconstruct equipment, so you can't get your materials back from it, which is, kind of sucks. But the trash can allows you to dispose of it without littering the sea floor. There's one of those big critters I was telling you about. Like I said, they're very gentle. They're not aggressive at all. Although occasionally they do have an aggressive plant on their back, which hurls spines at you, which causes minor damage. And it's okay to take a few hits from them if you can avoid it. But they're not that deadly, or they're not that bad. They don't do much damage. Another bioreactor fragment that'll finish off that blueprint.
New blueprint acquired. Local scans show a
Gate
nearby
nearby.
cave entrance, depth 90 meters, leading to an unknown environmental biome.
There's a table we can scan. Some of these stuff, unfortunately, you can't scan the forklift.
Acquired.
Some of the stuff, like the table, for example, is just basically decorative. Other items actually have use, as far as inside your base, like the trash can, for example. Allows you to dispose of things. Now, there's going to be other bits of wreckage where you're going to want to go inside, just like I did in that one. Only they're going to have rooms and stuff for you to explore and get some good stuff out of. Let's get back up to the surface. We got everything from this set of wreckage, and we'll head back. I need to build my rebreather, and we need to make the radiation suit. So you can just head on back to your life pod, wherever it spawned at. And we'll go ahead and get that other piece of silver so I can make my rebreather. First the wiring kit with the silver. Plasteel ingots, we'll need those later. But we unlock that blueprint while we're out. Radiation suit requires 2 fiber mesh and a lead. I only have 1 fiber mesh at the moment, so we'll go ahead and use that to make the rebreather. Just gotta pick that up out of the storage here. And then we'll go out and get some seaweed, creepvine, to make more fiber mesh so we can make the radiation suit. The rebreather, basically what it does is it allows you to breathe, use up oxygen at the same rate, no matter how deep or shallow you are. Without it, the deeper you go, the more oxygen you use up, starting at the 100-meter mark, and it gets worse as you get deeper. But with the rebreather, whether you're at 6 meters or 1700 meters, which is where you'll be towards the end of the game, you will use up your oxygen at the same rate. Okay, so we got the creepvine. There's another cargo pod. Looks like there's another Seamoth or sea glide fragment. Scan that for some more titanium. As you can see, there's still a ton of the little bits of salvage just laying all over the seafloor that you can pick up if you need titanium. And you're gonna need a lot of it. I'm short on storage space, so I will pick most of that up later once I get my base going. And make fiber mesh. And then we'll make the radiation suit. Like I said, it comes in 3 pieces. You got gloves, suit, and helmet. When you go to the ship, you want to replace your rebreather with the radiation helmet. That is going to be essential if you want to survive the trip. But until then, you can just keep your rebreather on. Inventory control here. You can see I built this little locker, put it out here. I don't really like using these lockers just because you can't deploy them inside either your life pod or inside your base. It can only be deployed out in the water. So once you get your base going, that life pod becomes useless. And so I'll probably end up making a trash can just so I can dump it and just get rid of it. So we've got some new blueprints. Down here on the bottom is the decorative type stuff, except the trash can actually has a use. So does the garbage disposal. Most of the stuff that goes in the bottom sector there is just going to be decorative. The second from the bottom there is going to be stuff that actually has a use. Then you got the solar panels and the bioreactor, both energy sources for your base. Walls, doors, windows. Scanner room and your multi-purpose room. You're going to have to scan more stuff for them. You do start with the hallways. You already have the blueprints for the hallways. Foundation. And there's the blueprint for the Seamoth. You go ahead and gather the materials for that, but we can't build it yet. Before you can build the Seamoth, you've got to have the mobile vehicle bay, which means we've got to find 3 pieces of it and scan it. Then we can build that. And that's coming to the end of this video. I hope you find it helpful. If it was, please hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.